Palmer. Salah. Oh, wow. Huge shot. It's given straight away. Yet again fails.
Hello and welcome to the Dugout Podcast. I am your co-host Andrew, and I'm alongside virtually my co-host Marissa. And how are you doing, Marissa? All is well?
All is well. All is well in the world.
I see. I was peeping at our little intro video and seeing as in roughly about 4 or 5 weeks time, Mohamed Salah will no longer be a Liverpool player. I might need to re-edit and open this program.
You know what's funny? When that same goal was played, I was like, how did I never realize that this whole intro is Salah scoring that goal against Chelsea? So it's amazing how we were contemplating different things in that moment.
Yeah. So on the agenda, first up, we have I am pretty sure we want to get past the pleasantries and get straight to the business. And first up, we're going to talk about
that I don't want to be pleasant to you.
No, I mean, you were before we came on here. Okay, fair enough. So I don't have to expose it this time. But anyhow, first up is the Champions League. Our reaction rather the Champions League quarterfinal phase. So we know the semifinals or semifinalists and who they will be. So I think which game you want to start with in terms of reaction to the last hit phase? You want to start with Liverpool PSG?
Let's start in order of best to worst.
Oh God!
So
I want to say the best to last.
Okay,
but go ahead.
So let me start. All right, let me start from the worst to the best then. So I think it's easy. Yeah, that's easy. That's easy.
Oh God! Wait.
Mm-hmm.
I got a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just start with the games that play on Tuesday first, and then we can start with that more recent, which is against someone.
Okay.
All
right. PSG Liverpool. Expected to me. Credit where credit is due. I think that y'all definitely tried. I mean, sometimes when I say things like that or I hear things like that, it feels so. I don't want to use the word patronizing, but I feel like trying is the least you should be doing on a football pitch, anyways. And I don't want to say y'all gave it a go, but I guess that's the best thing to say. I don't think PSG were at their best. But even saying that this tie could have ended 5-6-0 with the chances that they missed, to be honest. But yeah, nothing much to say. Yeah, in the first game. I was watching the game in and out in between work. And despite y'all like huffing and puffing, for lack of a bad term, I don't think that there's one chance I could say was really clear cut. The only thing that comes to mind is the block that Marquinhos made to prevent Virgil from tapping in. But other than that, I don't know if it's because it was in between, but other than that, I don't really remember any clear cut opportunities. So I think that I didn't expect a comeback, to be honest. But I think that y'all tried.
Well put. So this might be a rant. Who knows? It might sound like a rant, but I don't intend for it to be a rant. But remember, we actually saw each other in person in the supermarket last week, and I said to you that I was thinking about doing an individual video. And had we lost the film, right, on Saturday, you would have gone the individual video. But they want him out, so let's we'll begin to do the podcast. And I said, anyways, all right, I'll wait. Because I have a lot of things to get off my chest, and it goes by that first leg of the quarterfinal. Now, granted, Liverpool have had a very, very poor season. They haven't played well at all. But at the end of the day, you're still Premier League champions. So I believe that there's a certain way in which you should go about things.
Mhm.
And to give you a little indicator of where I'm going to after the first leg, not immediately after, but a couple of days after, Christopher called me and he said to me, "My get play off the part, right in Paris." And I said to him, "I ain't get play off the part." And you're confused, and I assuming that you probably confused too when I said that we weren't playing off the part in Paris. For me, to be play off the part, you gotta actually come with the intent to play. And only one team show up and decided to play. We come to just I don't know what we came to do. I think Arne Slot got his tactics. Look, I mean, hmm, there's one thing. The thing is, he came. It was almost like I was confused about what the approach was because it played with a back five, which might suggest that it come to contain PSG, and it didn't. It didn't seem like if we had a clear plan in terms of how to attack them or hurt them going forward in the first leg. But also, if you play with a back five, you also had the approach or the plan to start man mark, and that meant that Liverpool were busy, defenders and everybody was busy being pulled out of position. So the first leg was essentially non-event, and I feel as though that's ultimately where the title was lost. You can't come against a team like Paris, and not only against a team like Paris. I mean, emphasize you are Premier League champions. Despite the poor season that you've had, I think you would agree that there's still quality in the Liverpool team in terms of Liverpool ranks. It shouldn't be such a vast difference in terms of class, especially when you recall the games that they had last season. Yes, Paris was better in a way at part of France again, but I don't feel it's not Liverpool can't compete with that team, which brings me to the second game. No, Arne Slot. I mean, and the more and more thing about it, I realize that Arne Slot is making a lot of key mistakes at crucial times. Going back to last season Champions League, I remember he took off into extra time. He took off a few key players that could have taken penalties and brought on people like Harvey Elliott and Darwin Nunes that weren't really playing regularly in the build up to the game, which I tell myself was a mistake. Fast forward this one, this could be Mohamed Salah's. Well, actually, it was. But before the game, it was potentially his last game at Anfield in the red shirt. And you got the man for the blasted bench. And not only that, you start Alexander Isak, who had about 10 minutes straight of football since January or December. Maybe December. I can't remember when he got injured. That's foolishness. That is foolishness. Granted that you understand that you might be saying to yourself, well, Isak only lasts about 40 minutes. I don't want to bring him on the second half and I have to take him off any extra time if we get there. But it's cross the bridge when you get there. Most people do. That's number one. Number two, Liverpool didn't start the game particularly well in the first half in terms of their ball retention. So there was no moment where we were able to meet in the first half to exert a sustained amount of pressure on PSG. So that kind of explains why Isak only had about 5 touches in the entire first half. Right? And I remember I talked to my cousin on the phone at half, and I said to him, I don't understand why Liverpool's ball retention is so poor, because although I think PSG's midfield is exceptional, outstanding, Liverpool's personnel in midfield shouldn't be walked over to this extent. McAllister, Gravenberch, Shabazz, got to be able to keep the ball better. Trophy when works into that. And the second half, look who won the pony. They dominated for the first 20 odd minutes. Kept the ball, had PSG pending. But like you said, weren't really creating any clear cut opportunities. So there's a lot of effort, a lot of huffing and puffing, a lot of intensity, which I don't understand why it couldn't be there for at least maybe 20, 25 minutes in the first leg to really give yourself a chance. Because you give yourself too much to do. Anyhow, before creating any clear cut opportunities, and ultimately PSG demonstrate through Ousmane Dembele what Liverpool lack, which is a bit of class in the third, a bit of quality, talent quality. Apart from the Van Dijk block, the other good chance that they had, in my opinion, was probably the ball that Salah played for Kyrgios at the back post, and clearly right foot is way worse than he left. Because the ball, I think he should have done better. Anyhow, it's hard to see. Salah, I think it's last season, Salah, or a couple of years ago, Salah getting the position that he got into, first touch would have been a lot more clinical and would have definitely, in my opinion, made more of the situations that we got in. Because we got in promising situations. for creating clear cut chances. But again, on a slot, I don't understand what you gave at the first leg. You basically conceded defeat. And like you said, it could have been over because had PSG been clinical in the first leg, you tell you would have been done. Because for me, I don't think PSG would outstanding over 2 games. I think PSG basically won the game in moments. Anyway, that's all I want to say. I'll leave it there. Like you said, but it was expected. I at least as a Liverpool fan, I hoped, but clearly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if what came up on your screen, my screen came out on yours, but I think we had a bit of a connection issue just now. Just briefly though,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you for the most part, and but what I would say is, if slot approach had worked in the first leg, I don't think y'all would have complained because remember, we when we were previewing that game, we talked about not doing what Chelsea did away at PSG, what not doing what City did away at Real Madrid. We talked about continuing and not letting Tiger out of hand. I think where it
Mm-hmm.
went wrong is that not necessarily the how do I explain this? Because you're better at tactical stuff than me. I don't. It was more the execution for me because yes, it's not a Liverpool way to play back five, but I think like you said, he wanted to not get beat, at least not get beat too badly, maybe concede a one goal or maybe even take a draw. But to me, PSG still have far too much space and it was so far too easy for PSG to create chances. So maybe it wasn't necessarily the setup, but maybe the execution of it, I would say. That's the best way I would assess it. Because if he accept that way and y'all had gotten a result,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been big to take something back to Anfield, even if it was a 0-0 or a 1-1.
But here's the thing. And this is what I mean. I agree with you said what you were saying. But here's my thing. Liverpool haven't defended well at all for the entire season. How many clean sheets? How many clean sheets do Liverpool have? Don't ask that question because we don't know. We don't need to look it up. We know it can't be many, right? Normally, when you get those type of performances, is a team that has a track record of be able to do that on occasion, or a coach that has a track record to do that on occasion. Doing that is almost essentially going to be from his principles because as he would tell you, he always wants teams to play a certain way. He always wants teams to press tight. We'll be going watching again in the game. Well, no, that's when we was sitting last week. But to watch a game at somebody else humble aboard, and oh my goodness, we do the same thing that I criticized other teams in the Premier League for doing the entire season. Long throws and corners. We only for way forward. My thing is that yes, there's a way. Yes, you can be defensively solid, but I think like it's almost what's the word? It's almost criminal to play that way because even if you want to be that way, like you always have to have a counter punch, like boxing. You still got box somebody to make the man worry play mouth and rope and make it a little bit skeptical and coming forward all the time. Correct. Being a trade punch.
Yeah.
And that's my problem. And he going back to the second leg is that thing. You play a lineup with an attack that hasn't really featured together for the entire season. That was a huge risk. That had to pay off. You had to start again, like how you started second half. And I felt that playing Mohamed Salah would have given you, having Salah in lineup along with Ekitike and Worst. And those guys, especially with Alexander Isak, who is not fit, he can't be fit in terms of match sharpness, and who hasn't really featured much. Was a bad mistake. Like put Isak on the bench, and if you worry about he will only last for every minutes, because we're in a actually only went ahead in the 71st or so minute, and that's when I thought he would have been introduced maybe around the 70th, 75th minute. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so then Barca Atleti. I was watching your game. I don't know why. Why did I choose to watch your game when I felt like Barca Atleti was likely to be the more entertaining one? Because I more gave Barca a chance of coming back than y'all. I don't know. Why did maybe I was just. Anyways,
this was happening like Barca Atleti. Sorry, is an attractive fixture. An attractive fixture. I will not say no, but sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think my internet is going out, so go ahead.
Yeah, right. Oh, there. Right. So as I was saying, hopefully Marissa rejoins. Here she's back.
My internet
I think the reason.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that you would have still watched my game is because the name of the clubs, on paper is a bit more attractive than the
Yeah.
Barca Atleti.
Not
Kind
only
of. Because
that, I
Barca is
think
Barca, yes, but
I wanted to revel in y'all losing too.
you fraud. All right, go ahead. Give me your assessment of Barca Atleti.
Um, Barca went two up quick, so I
Mm,
was expecting them to go through. But Atleti is not a side that is going to fold easily, and they
yes.
definitely hung in there. Again, Barca had another man sent off. Um, the highline really seems to cost them in Europe, to be honest. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed because I would have preferred Barcelona Arsenal. But then a part of me feels like even though Arsenal attack has been mid in 2026 and probably most of the season, I think they would have enjoyed the highline. So,
Hmm.
but give Athletic credit. I think that they did well. They did well to withstand all the Barcelona pressure, even though Barca did have some good chances in the game. I heard somebody say that Hansi Flick has won 100% of the league titles that he's ever gone up for with both Bayern and Barca.
Yes. Mm.
Um, but obviously the European record, I think he won the Champions League with Bayern Munich though, right?
Yes, in the COVID season. Yeah.
Right. But other than that, so maybe he needs to. I mean, we just talked about sticking to your principles, so I wouldn't want to say to not stick to his principles, but maybe with better personnel at the back, Barca could be
Hmm.
a little bit more solid defensively. But props to Athletic. I wouldn't honestly. I like Bayern Munich. Um, I like PSG, but I genuinely wouldn't mind if Athletic win it.
Hmm.
But I don't know if that's gonna happen. So
Uh,
yeah, I think Athletic deserved to go through, and I thought it was a really really great tie. I think it was the tie. I don't want to say we expected it to be, but because I think we both tipped Barcelona's quality to win out in the end. But ultimately, I have to look back at those two red cards, and I think that was those cost Barcelona in my opinion. Not taking
mm.
anything away from Atleti, but that would be my assessment.
Well, as you could tell, I didn't watch the that game either because I was watching my hopefully shot me. But hmm, I agree. I agree with basically your assessment. I think what we said is forget about Atletico Madrid because they've been almost painted with the pragmatic brush, and we kind of like almost our default way of thinking is that they are going to always take that approach, and that's all they have to offer. We kind of neglect the fact that they also have exceptional attacking players. Griezmann, Alvarez, and they've added pace and trickery and skilling Ademola Lookman.
Yeah.
So they've always had a clinical striker that can one convert a chance or maybe create a chance with nothing, right? Or create a chance to give them a goal. The issue that they've had at times is that they may not always score the amount of goals, quantity of goals to really finish off and win a game or win the tie against a really good opponent, but they're always in the game. And that's something you have to give them credit for. Like you said, I think Barca might need to improve in terms of their defensive approach. I think honestly, right, I don't know if it's really defensive approach, but I think sometimes their defenders in terms of personnel are
Right.
susceptible
Yeah.
to making
Personal.
key mistakes at critical times, right?
Yeah.
Actually, almost with themselves in the foot.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So, but it's still a young squad, a developing squad. Um, I think that they have done well to even be in this position at this point in time, given what they were a year or two before I had split right. Because it was looking like, with the financial issues and stuff like that,
It's
it
true.
was looking like Barca will struggle for some time. So hopefully their board, may be continue to be patient on how they split. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in the forward line. I think Lewandowski's on a contract in December, and he looks, to be moving on. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. I hope they recruit. But Barca will be in the frame. I expect Barca back in the frame again next season.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Sporting Arsenal. Um, gosh, again, why on earth did I watch that game instead of Real Madrid Bayern? I don't know what's wrong with me. But just an overall poor game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait, that was the game you watched today?
Don't make me
No,
don't.
no, so, all right, go ahead. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
Again, it was a situation of it being on, listening
Mm-hmm.
to it in between where I don't know. I guess again I was hoping that Sporting would have done something and I would have just enjoyed those Arsenal tears. I think I need to stop going with the emotion and go with the practicality when choosing my games to watch.
Mm.
But overall, poor quality game. I think maybe Sporting had a couple half chances, but I think coming out to the 80th minute, both teams only had like one shot on target. It was just poor. Arsenal again looked really poor, and then we
Toothless.
can talk about we can talk about them in one of our segments in more detail. But I mean, a 90th minute winner last time was enough to see them through. And when you look at the games, I know y'all get blamed by PSG, but at least PSG shows some quality. Athletic Barca, Real Madrid, Bayern. When you just look at this 1-0 on aggregate, it's just so poor, and it makes me upset thinking that Real Madrid going home because literally they played Bayern, you guys played PSG. It's like this whole easy sided draw thing is getting on my nerves a bit.
Mm.
But whatever, it is what it is. I won't be. I'm sure I won't be complaining if it was me in the position. But hey, haters
Right.
gonna hate. But overall, poor quality game in my opinion. I can't say Arsenal deserve to go through, but I guess they scored a goal, so they deserve to go through.
Suppose so. Like you, well, sorry, unlike you, I didn't watch a minute of this game. Either legs. I saw that the first half of the first leg, based on reports that I read, would have been dire. And then I saw that Sporting seemed to have improved in the second half, but couldn't finally break through because of some excellent goalkeeping by David Raya. And then Arsenal got a breakthrough late, as you mentioned. And this game again, I was checking the score, but it couldn't say I off of the Real Bayern game, but I was checking the score, and I realized that Arsenal was able to stay open and no draw. I honestly, if I put my well, I don't have an Arsenal hat, but if I was an Arsenal fan and I was putting my Arsenal hat on, or head on rather, I would just say, well, it wasn't the best performance, but the most important thing is progression, right? And I think, you know, we talk about it in a minute, but I think that looking forward to what they have to face in the semi-final, they can be somewhat optimistic. And the reason I also want to say another important thing for me, with Arsenal is that if they're Arsenal fans, at least if I can imagine what their perspective would be like, it would have to be, well, they're just relieved to be going into this weekend's picture with a somewhat positive result outcome rather, and that's how we're gonna take it. All right, and Lily Marissa screen has frozen. I don't know why I'm laughing. All right, so hopefully she'll be back with us soon, but I'll just go forward a bit. Are you back, Marissa?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you cut out? At which point did you cut out?
Something about Arsenal fan, but at least the viewers will have heard. So
Yeah, the viewers heard. Yes, I will repeat it.
you don't need to repeat. Yeah.
So I'll let you take it away with the Bayern Real first, or you want me to take it since I watch again?
Yeah, you could take it away. I would just give my overall thoughts.
Yeah, so I watched both games. Excellent games. I thought that the first game in the Bernabeu was fine margins, fine margins. But both teams could argue that although I think Bayern was slightly better in the first leg, I think Real Madrid might have, because yeah, I can understand Real Madrid maybe feeling a bit hard done by not to at least lead the first, going into this game level on par. But I think that they showed enough in the first leg to make you believe that they could have come back. And they really gave it a go. They played well, especially the first half. I think they really played well the first half. They were creating chances, and it looked like every time they go forward, they could cause Bayern problems, especially given that the fact that the first half was really open. So in the transition, Real Madrid, you know, were really causing Bayern problems. By saying in transition, Bayern were causing Real Madrid problems too. But in terms of when the game slowed down, the second half to me was really what Bayern trying to force the issue and find a winner, and Real Madrid trying to hit them on the break. And I think Real Madrid, from their perspective, a lot will be made of the Camavinga second yellow card. But when you see those type of things, you just go like smile or laugh, I guess, because what happened was that Camavinga made a foul. I don't think he got a
Yeah,
yellow
I know.
card for
I
the
was
initial foul,
listening.
but
I should have caveated by saying that I was listening to a commentary that was, even though my I had the Arsenal game on one device, I was listening to commentary that was covering both. And obviously, because
mm.
the sporting game was so dire, it was mostly focused on the Madrid game. So I know why Camavinga got sent off. Yeah,
But what I would say about that situation is that yes, you know, it could be a caution, but at the same time, I
Mhm.
think sometimes referees got exert a bit of emotional intelligence,
Yeah,
understanding what's
yeah.
at stake, and to send off a guy for something so trivial because he did drop the ball. You know what I mean? Um,
Lateral Delar is going a bit far now, in my opinion.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's really the issue there. But I think over 2 games they Bayern shared it and Bayern deserve to go through. That's my
Yeah.
assessment. It did please me, and I would say on camera, I tears not. It did please me that as Arnold was on the side today, because at first, I was kind of like, you know, nonchalant, unbothered about the fact that he has left me. But given how my season has went, I know, and I think it's right. Real Madrid will probably win your pickup during his stay. It'd be hard to find that they won't. But at the same time, I'm not displeased that he has to wait another year. That gave me a bit of that warmed my cold heart this evening where Solar have mercy, especially Hurricane goal where you sleeping at the back post. Can you try to wake up, man? Huh?
Anyways,
Mark his face, mark your man.
yeah,
But,
definitely. Yeah, definitely a classic. I also didn't think that this tie was over. I think when Real Madrid got the consolation goal in the first tie, I think it left it really open.
mhm.
And yeah, it was definitely a great tie. So we could just jump straight into it. So we have Bayern PSG, Arsenal Atleti. I'll go first.
Okay.
I I think that I would say Atleti
Mhm.
simply because their attacking quality, in my opinion, is better. I think Arsenal are really struggling in their attack, like really struggling to create clear cut opportunities. Their wingers look toothless. Gyökeres sometimes seems starving for chances. Yes, they're defensively solid, but as we've seen in the Prem lately and in the cups, I think that they're not as solid, and I think Atleti will fancy their chances, in my opinion. Um, I was like I said, I was thinking about it. I think the high line may have been better for Arsenal, to be honest, against Barcelona. They would have been. I think that they would have been in it. I think
Mhm.
obviously we know Barcelona's quality, but I think Arsenal would have fancied their chances. But I think Atleti. I would fancy Atleti to go through. To be honest.
Mm. Well, I agree with you actually. I actually, if I had picked someone, I would pick Atletico to go through, and for the same reason as you mentioned, I think that again, what I said before, things sometimes we almost fall into the trap of thinking that all Atletico Madrid is a pragmatic team that offers nothing going forward, and that's not correct. I think that they have excellent attacking quality and attacking options off the bench as well. And I think at this point in time, you're seeing more production from their forward line that or better quality, a more cutting edge from their forward line than you're seeing from Arsenal's. And I think that could prove talent. So I would say, all things considered, I would say at this point in time, I would make Atletico Madrid favorites to make the final from that
Yeah.
standing.
Bayern PSG asked me around the time again. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
when I look at both of these sides' attacks, right, this could be a all-time classic semifinal. Um, I think when I look at the front threes of both of these sides, it's hard to pick. It's hard to choose who's away first.
I have no
You
idea.
know,
I have no idea.
I don't even know if that matters. Honestly, I think that these sides, this is worthy of a final. And that's what frustrates me. This is worthy of a final. If I had to give an edge, like I say, when we do the in-depth preview closer to the time,
Mhm.
I may change my mind. But if I had to give an edge, I will, I will go Baron.
Okay, interesting. Um, so again, like you said, this game is actually worthy of a final. I'm so happy that I saw Bayern over these last two games. I think when we talked about it earlier in previewing the last hit, I said to you that I didn't really see Bayern games up until this
Yeah,
point. But I heard good things about Bayern Munich. And I'm happy to report that good things are true. They're a good side. Um, I think what I would have been surprised about the most is the front three. Hurricane always have been excellent for a number of years. Luis Diaz, good player, and he's really fit in seamlessly into the Bayern attack. And then you have Michael Olise, who we knew was a talent at Crystal Palace, but has gone up a different level since his move. Um, so for me, I was really impressed with them against Real Madrid because Real Madrid really, I think Real Madrid played the best they could play, you know? So I think that Bayern deserve credit for eliminating them. In terms of this title, where I think it would be one, because I think one of my doubts about Bayern before was the company appointment.
mm,
Um, if you go back a year ago, I remember company wasn't their first choice either. It was like they
mm,
traded a couple of managers before they settled on company. But what I give company credit for um, is because I want from this correctly. I think he's suspect. And I really think he's suspect because I think because he's not Burnley. They play nice starting football. His teams tend to play attacking football, nice attacking football. I think Burnley did that when they came up in the Premier League that one
yeah,
year. But what you can't fault them for sometimes is that they are defensively soft or there's a little defensive frailty about them at times. And I saw that against Real Madrid. I saw that today against Real Madrid with Bayern's concern. Because, for example, the goal that Mbappe scored, that was against Real Madrid right before half. And that was, again, because Bayern lost the ball in a key moment and Real Madrid caught more on transition on the break. So, if you had to ask me who would give the extra, I would actually give it to PSG. Because I think
mm,
PSG's two center backs are exceptional, Marquinhos and Pacho. I think that PSG might be a bit more defensively robust in key moments than Bayern would be. So I think all things considered, I think that PSG might edge this one up, if you ask me. But it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be, it could go either way, but I would just make PSG slim favorites.
yeah. That's actually a really good point you made. To be honest, especially when you have teams that are so evenly matched across the pitch, that differential could be the manager for real. So that is a really good point you made. I didn't think of it that way. You may have convinced
Mhm.
me, but we will see when we do the in-depth preview. So yeah, it's just I don't know. Like we've said, I would really like to go back to the format where you draw every round. To be honest, um, yeah, because honestly, the quality on one side of the draw has. I mean, you usually get this in tournaments.
Mhm.
We see it at World Cups and everything, but to me, it's been so drastic. This Champions League is you had Arsenal having to play Sporting or Bodo Glimt. I mean, come on. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I would definitely like to be revisited next season for sure. Speaking of the devil, Arsenal. No,
Yes.
it feels like every 2 weeks we do a show. 1 minute we conceding that the title is still there. Next minute, no, we saying it done. It just feels like a roller coaster. I can't say that I hate it. I remember we both conceded this title. Not we are in the title race, but you know what I mean. We both accepted the fact that Arsenal were going to win this league a few weeks ago, but somehow, somewhere, they are to me struggling. I
Mm.
think I don't know if I said it to you on the show or if I said it to myself. But I always thought they were going to probably limp over the line. I don't think it
Right.
was going to be convincing. I think they were going to be
Mhm.
limping over the line. But honestly, I have my doubts that they're even going to get over the line. To be honest, I think I'm dead serious. I cannot believe that we're in a position where if City wins on Sunday and wins their game in hand, which I fully expect them to do, I
Mhm.
cannot believe we're going to be in a position where City could be top of the league. I genuinely cannot believe that.
Mm.
Honestly. We just a few in fact, just last week, Arsenal had the chance to go 12 points clear, and this is where we are. Obviously,
Mm.
City would have half the goal difference against a hapless and inept Chelsea Football Club on Sunday.
Mhm.
And honestly, City are playing like a team full of confidence. Remember, one of the things we always said was it's not that we believed in Arsenal, it's that we didn't believe in City. We didn't
Yes.
think that City were consistent enough. But man, 2-0 in the Carabao Cup, we did say that we thought that could have been a key result, and I think it was. 2-0 against Arsenal in Carabao Cup, 4-0 against you in the FA Cup, then 3-0 against Chelsea. Three big six teams, completely blanking them. They look fantastic. Yes, first half against Chelsea, I did not watch a minute of this game. But yes, based on the highlights I saw, they weren't that great in the first half. Chelsea scored an offside goal. But in the second half, much like they did in Carabao Cup, they totally turned it on. And I was thinking back, and I said, I know, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, Andrew.
Mhm.
But you see that game where they won 2-1 at Anfield? That
Mhm.
was a shift. That was a shift to me in their mentality. I know they drew, I think the Forest game where they dropped points was after that still. But
Yeah.
I
And
still
then they drew
think
against
it's
West.
still
Somebody after. Well,
somebody. I think it was West Ham. Yeah.
yeah.
I still think it was a shift, not only in them, but also in Arsenal. I feel that as deflated as Liverpool fans felt with that late defeat, I feel like that deflated Arsenal as well. Honestly, the way Arsenal have played in 2026 has been disgusting. Like they don't look fluid. They look very, you said it earlier, toothless. They can't blame injuries. I know Saka's out, but Saka isn't having a great season, let's face it. Um yeah, you always want your star players on the pitch, but to me, that's no great loss because he's not playing well. Their attack looks toothless, their defense. And I think I said it to you when I was watching Bournemouth game. They look scared. And to me, the title you put towards this segment was Are Arsenal feeling title pressure? My question is why? You weren't 3 points ahead. You were literally 9 points clear at the start of this weekend. What pressure are you feeling? What pressure are you feeling? So on one hand, you have Arsenal playing like nervous kittens, and on the other hand, City just look confident. They're doing keep ups on the pitch. The fans in the stands drinking bottles of Arsenal tears. One side is playing like if they're 9 points clear, and the other side is playing like they're 9 points behind. And it's definitely not who should be playing like that.
Mm.
So I don't know why they will be feeling pressure. I know what you may say. 4 years in a row, 3 years in a row, sorry, let me not put my mouth on them. 3 years in a row, second, haven't won a title in a while, all of that. But to be honest, Andrew, it is I'm enjoying it because, I have nothing to look forward to this season other than the pain of other teams, which is so sad and pathetic. But here we are. But honestly, Arsenal fans have every right to be worried. Every
Mm.
right. Because I genuinely believe, and we can get to the preview in a sec. So let me save that for the preview. But you go ahead.
Mhm. Okay. I was really enjoying your take, by the way. Well, I would say concede. I was resigned to the there are points this year that I was resigned to the fact that Arsenal might get will be like you said, because they
Mhm.
weren't showing consistency that you normally associate with them. And they didn't look at that certain times where they didn't look like they could, you know what I mean? Just string the 4, 5, 6 minutes on the spin to really put Arsenal under pressure. So it was almost a feeling of resignation that I had as well. But like you said, Arsenal started slipping up ever so often. And the one thing about Arsenal that I think is telling is that whenever Arsenal are in a position to cut your throat and be ruthless and really stamp the foot in your neck, they don't take it. I
Mm.
remember I brought up to Emirates in January with a depleted squad and Liverpool was struggling at that point still. We struggled all season. And Arsenal didn't play like, yeah, let me make a statement here and dispatch this soon to be dethroned Premier League champion. Showed up
Not
to
only that, not only
mm,
that, but if you are champions elect, the struggling current champions rocking up at your ground, that's also a big incentive to make a statement too. To show
yeah.
them you're to literally physically.
All right, Marissa internet going bust again. So going back to the Arsenal assessment, what I would say about them is that they never really show the or demonstrate the ruthless aggression that you would associate from them, and I think that that is highly problematic. Yes, Marissa, you were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, to literally take the crown from Liverpool. I mean, my internet just stuck at the worst time, but to literally take the crown off of your head and literally place it on theirs.
Yes, they don't see it. I didn't like you said City in the Carabao Cup final we're in Turkey taking the Mickey by doing KP up on the pitch. And if you just compare Liverpool struggling going to Etihad, actually completely blew solid water. All right. And as Arne Slot said himself, we were lucky that City kind of like, all right, we leave that for and not really push for more because it could have been embarrassing if we wanted to. But the thing with Arsenal, right, is that I remember I started season when we picked our we had like our preseason award or preview in terms of different categories that we had manager to watch. And you said it with Amory. I think I said Mikel Arteta. The guy said Arteta had to come good this year. I think that was my rationale for it, I think. And I find again he overcomplicates things.
Yeah.
And I find as though he says the most bizarre things that to me doesn't alleviate the pressure. The answer in the press conference before the sporting game, in this crucial week, how to see approach and he telling you people that he on fire. Oh Lord have mercy. Well, you know, right? That if you go home and Sunday, it can really be on fire. I assure you one thing, nobody's gonna have a bucket of water ready to throw on you. Because like he said the most outlandish things, and I think again, you said something about him when we were doing the show before. Said that he's a manager who struggles to contain or manage his emotions. And I believe the more and more watch stars, the team I believe that that's the case. Because like you said the set piece goals have dried up. I never thought they were
Arsenal
particularly
taking
fluid
sharp corner at the weekend. My mom almost dropped open.
and I never felt as though they were playing at any point in the season particularly fluid.
Yeah.
Um, I think they were playing through a solid defense. Um, Holy Lee was going at that, in the first half of the season for sure. In terms of Lloyd set piece goals was benefiting them. And I also believe that, like I said, the strength for Arsenal was I never thought the forward line had exceptional quality. I always maintained that I felt it was just like strength in numbers. They could rotate, they could rest at certain points. You could bring somebody off the bench and nick something for you. Yeah. So to me, they've never played particularly well. But like you said, kind of bad them, or they're feeling pressure. They were 9 points ahead. They had a chance to be 12. The interesting thing from here, the key thing for Arsenal and why he raised at this club, and I plan on win this league, right? When I come on the show and rates them, I really rate them, because even though you lost against Bournemouth. Remember I said you during the game, I said they don't deserve to win nothing because you're in a title race, you miss a title race, and people walking out the ground. leave the Emirates early. Come on, man. And it's like the interesting thing is that you're next game against City. You're a direct opponent, so you still have the opportunity. You don't have many matches. I mean, you should approach your match in a minute, but you destiny's in your hand just as much as it's in City's. Essentially, where are you panicking for? You have a significant enough
Exactly.
buffer. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I think for some reason their fan base never seems completely confident. Well, they talk a lot, but they never seem completely confident. And then in terms of the manager, I don't know. Like I don't like the messaging that comes out when it comes to him. I don't like the energy that he transmits to his players right now. It worries them for me, and I'm not an Arsenal fan, but it almost puzzling. And I really fear for them. I really fear that after Sunday, they're really gonna be behind the net. They're
That's
under
the
so much
thing,
pressure, right?
right? They are under pressure, and but the thing about it is, I still feel that knowing them, they could get a result on Sunday. As
Mm.
bad as they are now, it's like because you don't expect them to get a result, I would not be surprised if they get a result. Honestly, to me, common sense telling me that City are gonna wipe the floor with them. City
Mm.
are relishing this. I don't, and I think that's the thing about it. I could see City relishing this, and I could feel Arsenal being scared. I could literally see Arteta going there for a draw.
I think he
Honestly,
will. I think he will. But what I would say about City is that, like, again, when City made the additional signings in January, they weren't showing signs of consistency just yet to maybe believe. So I'm actually surprised that they're really coming to the ball at the right time.
tell you.
And like you said, Pep seems to have the players really hungry again, are really relishing this challenge, this opportunity to usurp Arsenal. I take away. I mean, I think it'll be their fifth title in 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. Um, like you said, I think Arsenal are capable. Depends on what your approach is, though. But I think they're capable of getting a result because at the same time, although City are looking good, you have to say on paper Arsenal will be the strongest challenge that they've had in this run. So this is really a potential title decider. I think we will learn a lot about Arsenal this the mentality of players because I think this is all rather than look at it as pressure, they got to look at it as this an opportunity, a chance for us to really rubber stamp that we win title this year. After
I
leading so
think for
long,
me, mhm.
go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I think for me too. Even looking at a sporting game today, it's like if they walk up to City and play like that and how they've played in the last few weeks, they don't stand a chance. Like they're
Mm,
playing, no disrespect to Sporting, but let's face it, they're playing an inferior side at home with a chance to go through to another semi-final in Champions League, and they serve that dross at
mm,
home. Everything it feels like everything is in Arsenal's favor, and they're just doing everything to screw it up. It just feels that way. They had a fantastic run in the FA Cup, messed that up.
mhm,
Fantastic Champions League run, stumbling into the semi-final, in my personal opinion. They will not get a better chance to win the league. Chelsea in the pits, Liverpool in the pits, Man United still struggling and were in the pits for a large part of this season. This is the
mhm.
worst City have been in years. Tottenham in the relegation zone. Literally, no disrespect to the other sides in the league because we know those lesser teams in the league are doing well, are tough to beat on their day. But you will not get a better chance to win the league when five of the six big clubs in England are struggling. And this is what you're serving up. I know, boy.
Well, I don't know. I think it's just like chickens coming home to roost. They've lacked creativity all season. I know they're really lacking a goal threat. And the defense that was bailing them out a lot for most of the season, excuse me, is no. leaking goals,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not managing game. No, because for me, that where I was like giving them credit for is like I know I talk about the depth of squad, but where we give them a bit of credit is that most of the time this season I've always felt like when I've seen them play most of these sides in the league, I've always felt as though they were managing situations well, and it seemed to be a quite maturity
Yeah.
in their performance. Let me correct myself when I say that Mikel Arteta's body language and comments kind of worry me. Is that all of a sudden you're not seeing that quiet confidence, that quiet maturity, that assuredness anymore? It's almost being replaced by this almost antsy energy
Mm-hmm.
around the team, around the club, around the fan base,
Yeah.
and uh well, but we will see. We will see what happens on. We will see what happens on Sunday.
Indeed. Indeed. Um. So let's get into it. Our final segment for the night: leaderboard and predictions. We talked a bit about one of the big fixtures of the weekend, but we still have a few fixtures to go through. I am pulling up the fixtures and I have them here. This weekend is going to be massive. I know we didn't touch on the race for Champions League, but Chelsea are in the pits of hell, and I fully
Mhm.
expect Liverpool, as I told you the last show, to get top 5 over Chelsea, and my mind has not changed from that. Especially when you see how we're ending this season, crazy. So to kick things off, you have I just had it here. You have 91 points. I have 80. Am I ready to concede the title yet? No, because 11 points is easy to claw back with a few
Really?
correct scores with a few correct scores.
Okay, fair.
But I am not giving up until the very end. So first up,
Okay.
Tottenham, who have now
If
slipped
Arsenal had a
into
little bit of your spunk, maybe they'll get across the line a bit easier. Go
maybe.
ahead, go ahead.
So Spurs versus Brighton. Spurs are now in the relegation zone firmly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first, but actually, you know what? What did they tell you that the result would be last week? When we talked. Sorry, last time we recorded, we talked about this.
You
I don't
thought
watch
Spurs
anymore.
would get a result. I think it was. Oh gosh, you mean in the Brighton game? I
Yeah,
think you had them. I know you had them to get a point at Sunderland.
yeah, I did.
So I think you had this for a win.
I win. Okay.
I
I remember what
think.
changed it.
I can't remember.
I give Spurs a 1-1 draw. I phone to Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, they are feeling it. All right, I am going to go with exactly what I predicted last week, and that will be a win for Brighton. I think Brighton
Mhm.
will win this 2-1.
Okay.
All right, next on the agenda, I'm going to save that game for second. Oh, gosh, what the bird. Oh, this weekend is going to be spicy. So let's go let's go Everton Liverpool.
Well,
Mercy.
you change your order. All right.
Yeah, change it. I going from this the least. I don't want to call it the smallest game, but you know what I mean. The smallest game, the biggest game.
Okay, go ahead. Well, biggest game. Okay, all right, all right. Everton, at home to Liverpool.
First, since you went first last time, I'm
Sure.
going to go with a 2-1 Everton win.
You, uh, anyhow,
Only
um,
because new ground, I think that they will love an opportunity to make their first Merseyside derby at their ground a memorable one, to be honest.
I mean, I get it. I understand the when you came to that conclusion. Um, I think that Everton will be highly motivated as well. I think Liverpool again. I think Liverpool what have no suffered 4 defeats in their last five. But the only win coming last week in the league against Fulham. So Liverpool are not on a great run either. And I believe that there could be a hangover, a bit of extended disappointment from the PSG result. Added to the fact that have fresh injury concerns with actually get off his season.
Yeah,
And
that's
probably
a
internet
tough
as
one,
well.
boy. Feel for him. He's
Correct.
out to the World Cup too, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
He may not be
that's
back, but
sad.
he might be not be back until next year because his
Wow,
injury is the Achilles is a significant injury.
wow, wow,
So
wow. Sorry
um,
to hear.
very very sad and unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I honestly, in good faith, cannot really see where Liverpool get away from. So having said that, I'm going to go for a 2-all draw. Well, I'm hoping that Liverpool will be able to rescue a point.
Okay, I could see that being a result too. It's not Everton are great defensively, so not a bad shout. All right, the second biggest game of the weekend on paper, anyways.
Mm.
Chelsea versus United. Jesus, take the wheel. Take it from my hands, cause you know
Chelsea
it.
versus United. Ooh, yeah,
I
this
went
one's going to be.
this thing tasty for who? The neutral.
No, I mean in terms of top four battle or top five battle, I should say top five race
Oh yeah,
because
I was grateful for that little Leeds
realistically,
win on Monday.
myself included, and like realistically, you guys need a result because you don't want the other teams getting too far ahead of you. Which I mean, like you said, each one of the teams in this race are kind of inconsistent. I can't really be trusted. So even a negative result on Saturday doesn't necessarily spell doom for you or spell the end. But
Are you
this is one
sick?
of those games
Yes, it
where
spells the end. How
this
far
is
are we behind
one
you guys?
you're 4 points behind me. If we go by your prediction at Everton, and I lose to Everton, although you be overtaken by Everton, I think if Everton wins, I think Everton and Brentford are creeping up on you. Although that's the case, I will still remain 4 points ahead of you. That's not insurmountable. Anyhow, yeah, but
We
you have
travel to
clearly
Anfield in 2 weeks, B.
Arsenal has been anything but fortress this year. You know that. Anyhow, Mercer. Anyhow, Mercer. Let
Yes.
me get to my prediction.
Go ahead.
Um, this game is tasty, and it's tasty because I can't really pinpoint which way to go, and it ain't got an end really fight. Both the teams good. It's that both the teams unpredictable. But I'm going to take the. Ooh, this is disappointing. I think they win 2-1. I just fancy the hit that more than I fancy yours.
Facts. Everybody's mid. I have no choice but to go with a 2-1 Chelsea win. I can't genuinely come on here and I don't believe it, but I'm still gonna say it. I gotta keep the whole. I feel very apathetic when it comes to Chelsea. You know what was strange? Quick story.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered a Chelsea shirt as a birthday gift to myself. Estival on the back. It was the first home Chelsea shirt because I think we talked at the beginning of the season that this is probably one of the best home shirts we've had in a while. And
Right.
it was the first home shirt that I've actually felt like buying. Got Estival on the back. Guess when the shirt was delivered? Just a
I
well
don't know.
start.
When is it
Sunday
delivered?
after
Sunday
the game.
after the game.
So
You already,
imagine
you already sure from her.
this guy on Instagram called I don't know, sports jersey or jersey man. It's really cheap.
Okay, I see. You said really what?
It was really cheap too.
All right, you
Cheap
messed
in
me.
my
Messed me.
opinion.
You tell me.
Yeah,
You
no
tell me the
problem.
price I got.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, happy with the shirt though, but it was just not a great day to receive it. To be honest, that was funny. I mean, who delivers stuff on a Sunday?
A very
Right,
committed,
right after the
very
game.
committed businessman.
Oh, gosh. So yeah, I gotta still keep the faith in the boys. I have to. We're playing very poorly. Everything about the club just seems to be trash. With no sort of relief in sight. But I still have to say that you still have something to play for. You still have something to play for. Go out there and play for it. So 2-1
Mm.
Chelsea.
Okay, and the last game should be the City and Arsenal. So right, the title
Should I
decided.
go with what I hope or should I go with what I think?
Up to you.
3-1 City.
Okay. I mean, whole city are playing at the moment. They've had an entire week to prepare for this game as well. They're ready. And I haven't seen anything from Arsenal in the recent weeks that suggests to me that they will be able to withstand or cope with the onslaught that's coming their way. I actually expect and almost anticipating that City will even be better than what they showed in the Carabao Cup final. And that being said, I'm gonna go
That
with
crowd is gonna be crazy.
I'm also gonna go with City win. And I'm gonna go with 3-0 City. I'm not even getting Arsenal goal.
Wow, 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
This game has a 1-1 draw written all over it. But we will see how it goes. All right. Next weekend's fixtures. Well, not next weekend. The week look a bit weird. It seems that match week, I think which match week it is. Match day 24 34 seems to be a weird one because it starts on Tuesday and it goes all the way to Monday.
Okay.
There are not even any games on Sunday, which is a bit weird. Wonder what's so
Okay.
special about that day. Anyways, so we kick off match day 34 with Chelsea going away to Brighton on Tuesday the 21st.
Oh God, you guys are in such a poor run of form. I know it's able to find a point to give something. I can't. I'll go for 1-1 draw, but I might be defeated too, based on how y'all play.
Fair. I'll go with a 2-1 Chelsea win. Again, that's more out of hope than anything else. Next up, Burnley, Man City away to Burnley. Burnley
What day
don't
is
yet.
that? No. What day
The
is that?
Wednesday.
Okay. Okay. I think you have to go first.
3-0 City. 3-0 City.
I'm gonna go 2-0 City.
Okay, 2-0. Yeah, that should be an easy game, easy win for City. Burnley don't yet.
I don't believe so. No.
Okay. Another what I think is very interesting. Tottenham away at Wolves.
All right, yeah. So I picked Tottenham to win this 1-1. The God to surely have to win this one. To give himself a foothold or claw saying back. But I'm gonna go Tottenham 2-1.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Wolves. I think Wolves. It's sad to see, to be honest. But I think Wolves in 2026 have been playing really well, and I fancy them. I don't think by this
Is
game
that you
they will
fancy
be
Wolves or
really
you hate Tottenham?
Pardon?
Is that you fancy Wolves or you hate Tottenham?
Both.
Are you praying for Tottenham to be nice?
Both. But genuinely though, in 2026 they've been playing decent. And I don't think they're going to be mathematically done yet by this time. So I think that they'll be up for it at home.
Okay.
See, I can still give proper analysis. Liverpool at home to Palace.
That's on Wednesday?
All right, so the Spurs game is Saturday. See, it's weird. Spurs game is Saturday. Your game is Saturday.
Okay. They have a time to go off time for my game yet?
If they got time?
Yeah.
10. Well, our time, 10.
Okay. We're at home with Palace. Maybe Palace all season. I think Palace have defeated us 4 times already. Or 3. Yeah, Community Shield. Yeah, 3. Yeah. Community Shield, Carabao Cup, and then the league. So maybe it'll be 4 if I'm lucky for Liverpool, and I'll go with that. So I'll go with Liverpool 2-1.
I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw. I think this is your bogey team for a reason, but Palace on the beach by now. So, but then again, there's a lot of incentive for Europe. So a lot of these teams that will usually be on the beach might not be on the beach. But I still will go with a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
All right. What I think is also a very tasty fixture, Arsenal at home to Newcastle.
Ooh,
Indeed.
this Sunday?
This is Saturday, 12:30 kickoff.
Late kickoff. Okay, I'll be watching this. I'll be sat in front of the telly. Um, Arsenal at home to Newcastle. Newcastle
Great.
haven't been consistent this year. They're not playing well. They're struggling a bit as well. I know Eddie Howe's under pressure. You see, because at Emirates, I think Arsenal might. Then again,
Bournemouth was at Emirates.
exactly. I was gonna say, but I know Newcastle really struggle away from home. That's the truth. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Arsenal.
I'm going with 1-1 draw. I think the nerves gonna fully set in for Arsenal. Well,
Hmm.
they have already, but I'll go with a 1-1 draw. And they've been very uninspiring at home lately as well. So, yeah, 1-1 for me. And then the final game in this round of fixtures, United at home to Brentford.
Hmm. You go first.
I was thinking 1-1, but I think I'm gonna go to 1 United.
Okay.
I think United, like you said, I think United's attack is gonna get them top four. Defensively, they don't look great, but I think that attack will get them top four or 5 or 6, whatever it is.
I'm gonna go for a 2-all draw.
Mm,
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I think
Right.
Brentford's attack is quite. I think Brentford's attack will cause them any problems, and I can't see Brentford scoring a goal or two.
Fair. All right, so that brings us to the end of another show, another live show. We hope that you've enjoyed the difference. I know we're not in the studio. We're hoping to be back soon. But we hope that you're enjoying the difference, the content coming out a bit quicker and we could give our raw emotions. So you can follow us at the Dugout_podcast. Myself versus Simone 91, Andrew 9106, and of course our sponsors Whole Health Pharmacy 246 and Spirit Led Studios 246. And obviously continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I've noticed that few people lately have been sharing the reels on that we've been posting on Instagram, so that's been good to see. And we can tell that you guys like the guests, so we're definitely going to be looking to do some guests for sure, especially with the World Cup coming up. So that's something we'll discuss. And yeah, any comments you have about how we can improve, where our ears are open.
Agreed, conquered. Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate your support.
For sure. So we will see you next time, by which I'll probably be in tears because my team will probably be in 8th by then. And yeah. Shane, say nothing. No words of comfort, nothing.
Why would they say something? Wait. Why would they say something of comfort?
I see how it is.
You just ever feel for me when it comes to Liverpool.
True. Fair point.
So I don't know, some comfort you want from me. I would really like. You know what we should do? When you come to Anfield, we should. I will ask any option. You want to come over and watch a game? Throw the
Of course.
popcorn and drink. Have a life watch along
If
with the
Chelsea was
Arsenal fans.
informed, if Chelsea was informed, sure.
No,
But you know what?
but
A live watch along don't sound like awful idea,
exactly.
Maybe
So
we can talk about
people can see. So people can see our. Well, I got bathe myself, so I don't walk across that camera. But some people can see our live authentic reactions to the game. I feel like it'll be entertaining, maybe. But you should come and watch it. When there's something right on it, because you guys have a chance. We're trying to get into Europe's Premier competition.
Mhm.
I'll try to invite Christopher as well, so I can be outnumbered as usual. It's fine.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That game is the week. That's 2 days after my birthday.
Well,
When is
the
May
late
9th?
birthday gift.
May 9th is it's a Saturday, 7:30 a.m.
It's morning, boy. But I happening. I apologize. I
Where is
apologize.
that
I
game
don't know
at
that.
7:30 in the morning?
I don't know if it's early kickoff.
That is mad. That game should not be an early kickoff.
Maybe it would change for television. No, early kickoff is on television. My bad.
Oh
Not for that.
gosh. Maybe we could still think about it and see how it works out. But damn, why is that game an early morning kickoff? My whole
Yeah.
weekend is ruined. Or yours.
Fair enough.
Anyways. So yeah, it's been another good show. So